Everyone, this is Minnesota Mike with you live here. This is brand new video, brand new song, and we're about to figure out what that song is exactly because uh, we're going to write a song live on Facebook and YouTube live. And Came up with this idea with a friend of mine because, as you know, I write every day, and there are a lot of things that I sort through that I think you guys can use too, just for your own grieving and thought processes if you're going through something. And the line "February made me shiver" has kind of been on my mind recently because February is a tough month for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, myself included. And I figured, hey, let's start in writing some songs about the grieving process and how that works and all that good stuff. So, of course, the first step in the grieving process, the first stage, not really step, it sounds like it's intentional, but the first stage in the grieving process is of course denial, and it's not just a river in Egypt. It's something that we all kind of have to go through because you see life a certain way, and then it kind of gets flipped upside down, and so it's pretty hard to do that. And I think for me, there's one song that I immediately thought of, and that's um, the song "Most of the Time" by Bob Dylan. And so we're gonna kind of go for that feel. But one thing that was kind of on my mind as well. Today is February 4th when I'm doing this live, and that marks 45 years since "Rumors" by Fleetwood Mac. And in thinking about that grieving process, they all kind of went through it together and wrote those songs together, even though they were kind of about each other. They were kind of yelling at each other and whatever. Um, but I thought that was kind of a good springboard for denial. That, like, you still think you can make it work. And so this is going to be a song that I write here about that denial. So let's get started without any further ado, to quote a friend of mine. So, what I always do too is I always put a date on my songs. So, this is 2/4/22. And part of the reason why I date my songs is because, no one else will necessarily date me. So, I figure that's a good jumping off point. But I'm thinking that for this particular song, since we're denying it, we don't want to necessarily reveal that, like, oh yeah, this is all in my mind. So we want to make it as realistic as possible. So I'm going to start off with the words, or with the phrase, I should say. I've known you. Actually, let's change that. I've been meant for you. For 1,000 years. We see no heartbreak. We see no tears. We've seen the bad times when we're apart. But now, there's no reason. to restart. So that's a good first verse, but now we need a hook of some sort. So now comes the big reveal. I tell myself, your love for me will never wind up on the shelf. I tell myself, you're never gonna need or want no one else. All right, so now we move on to that second verse. We were good for a while. Now, because that actually, even though we've revealed that, in my mind, I still believe it. We're still all good. Because, honey, you still love me. Just like you should. Not just any man. You know, we'll treat you right. I'm the one you want to hold you. Every night. Then we go back to that hook. I tell myself, your love for me will never wind up on a shelf. I tell myself, you're never gonna need or want no one else. So now we get to the bridge. This is a good break when it comes to the two verses and the hook. It doesn't always necessarily have to work this way. One of my favorite songs, Tangled Up in Blue, doesn't do that. It's just straight verses. But sometimes with these kinds of songs, you want something to break it up, and so that bridge. So I know it's not that way. But I refuse to accept you not in my life to dry the tears I've wept. So in my mind, I'm crying over someone who's not you. In fact, it's not in my mind. I know it's gotta be true. So then we're gonna go back to a verse. We might put a solo there or something. We'll figure that out later. So now we get to that third verse, and this has got to be your closer, your strongest one. You don't have to cut it at 3, but that seems like a logical thing to do. So, I think I want to take this in a slightly different direction for the third verse. So it's half acceptance, but you're still a little bit in denial. So, I know you're gone. I can no longer go on denying that. I've been here before. We're too strong. And I know you'll come on back. There's nothing for you or me in that big world. I like the word cold better than big, so I'm going to do that in that cold world. And I'm still the one you want holding you when it unfurls. And then we go to that hook to close out. I tell myself, your love for me will never wind up on the shelf. I tell myself, you're never going to need or want. No one else. So let's call this song I Tell Myself. And now we can work this bad boy out. I've been meant for you for 1,000 years. We see no heartbreak, we see no tears. We've seen the bad times when we're apart, but now there's no reason to restart. I tell myself, your love for me will never wind up on the shelf. I tell myself, you're never gonna need no one else. We're still all good, 'cause honey, you still love me just like you should. Not just any man you know will treat you right. Yeah, I'm the one you wanna hold you every night. I tell myself, your love for me will never wind up on a shelf. I tell myself, you're never gonna need no one else. Yeah, I know it's not that way, but I refuse to accept you not in my life to dry the tears I've wept. So in my mind I'm crying over someone who's not you. In fact, it's not in my mind. I know it's gotta be true. I know you're gone. Yeah, I can no longer deny that. Yeah, I can no longer go on denying that. I've been here before, waiting too strong, and I know you'll just come on back. There's nothing for you or me in that cold world. And I'm still the one you want, holding you when it unfurls. I tell myself, your love for me will never wind up on the shelf. I tell myself, you're never gonna need no one else. I tell myself. All right, and that was I Tell Myself, and not just the song, but the entire journey of the song, how that came about. Like I said, I knew I wanted it to kind of be about denial, and denial is all about what you tell yourself to make yourself feel better. And it's a defense mechanism within the grieving process, and an important one. And so I happen to be pretty darn good at writing those songs, and want to help you as well write those songs too. Again, I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube page, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook and all of that good stuff, iTunes, Spotify. Yeah, thank you so much.